I've written a simple MCP application with knowledge about colors. It uses the C# MCP SDK. As before, the code is on GitHub, so do take a look later. The color information is stored in a JSON file, but it could have been external, perhaps stored in a database or retrieved by calling some API. This C# file exposes the tools. It's done by annotating the functions. The description information is important as that's what the AI uses to determine what the tool can do and if it should use it. I've also provided support for both MCP protocols. We've got standard in-out and then the server-side events. I've included a Docker file to make it easy to deploy. Also included is a client test application. So let's use some MCP tools, including this Colors and Knowledge service. To do so, we shall use GitHub Copilot Agent Mode, which can use MCP tools to get knowledge to help formulate its responses. The MCP JSON file is where our MCP servers are configured. I have the Azure MCP server, which can get information about my Azure subscription and the resources within. I have a time server which can get information about time. I have my color MCP server. The last one is Playwright server. Playwright is primarily a testing tool which uses scripts to interact with web browsers. If I click on this button, you can see I get a list of MCP servers and tools. For example, here I can see my MCP color tools. Now let's try this question. I need a palette of 4 colors from the blue family, plus black, and then please add to my colors HTML file so I can inspect. First time you will get a button asking for approval to call the MCP server. You have options to allow it in this session, allow in this workspace, or always allow. We can see it called the Colors MCP server to get all of the blue color options, and it's chosen 4 of them, and then injected the code into my HTML file. The chosen blue palette looks good to me. Next, let's try what is the time in Timbuktu. The AI has decided to use the MCP time server, and it's given me the time in Timbuktu. Next, let's try checking out Ocado.com, and I want to extract the price of wonky carrots. The AI has decided to use Playwright to interact with the web browser. And the answer is £2.50 for 2 kilos. Now you can run this headless, but I actually had a web browser running in the background. And you can see here where it got the information about the price from. Next, let's try asking about what Azure App Services I have. The AI has decided to use the Azure MCP server. And here is the list in the response. One more question. What is the Docker image name being used by my Colors MCP server? And here is the name location for the Docker image.